Let's look at the rules for the game of Nine Men's Morris. This is one of the oldest games. There's records of it back in Egyptians' times and even earlier. In Nine Men's Morris, it's a three-stage game. In stage one, it's placement of men. This is a two-person game, so one person has one color, 9 men. The other person has another color, and they get 9 men as well. So during the placement of men, you take turns. You put one down, and then your opponent puts one down. And it's your turn to put one down. And stage one ends when all of the men have been placed onto the game board. If you get 3 in a row, you're able to remove one of your opponent's men. However, there's an exception. You may not take it out of any row of 3 that's already been built by your opponent. So if you see 3 in a row, you can't take one of those. You can take any other of your opponent's men. A row is considered across or up and down. It is never considered diagonal. Now be careful, because if you get down to 2 men, you lose. If you can't move anymore, you lose, and that goes for your opponent too. So you could easily win during stage 1. Let's try and simulate a game of this. So I'm the blue player here, and the computer is the red player. And during phase 1, we just keep placing our men on the board. And I see my opponent is setting up 3 in a row. I'm going to deliberately act like I didn't notice so that they can get 3 in a row, which means they get to remove one of mine. Okay. Now I get 3 in a row. I can't take one of those because they're already 3 in a row, but I can take this one, so I'll remove that one. And now it's my opponent's turn again. And then it's my turn. And stage 1 continues until all of the men have been put onto the board. And we're just about there. So there we have it. We have all of the men have been placed. Now we're into stage 2. In stage 2, you slide the men. You take turns. When it's your turn, you can slide one man, one space at a time. Again, if you get 3 in a row, you get to remove one of your opponent's men, but not from a row of 3. If you get down to 2 men, you lose, or you could win if you get your opponent down to just 2 men. Or if you're stuck and can't move anymore, you lose. If you get your opponent stuck, they lose. So let's look at simulating a little bit of this now. So it's my turn. I've got to find one to slide, so maybe I'll slide this one here. And then my opponent slides theirs. Again, you're trying to get 3 in a row. Alright. Now see this? My opponent is set up 2 different ways. They could slide this one here and get 3 in a row and remove one of mine, or they can slide it here and remove one of mine. So we'll see what the computer decides to do. Looks like they went there, and they get, of course, to remove one. And now it's my turn again, so I move one. And it'll take just a minute, and they're going to get another one. There we go. And I'll remove another of mine. And now you can see my opponent has won because there's no more possible places for me to move. I can't move here. I can't move this one. Everything is blocked. So there's a way during phase 2 the game could end. Now if the game didn't end, you move to phase 3. If I was to go down to just 3 men left, my men are able to fly. I can take them and lift them and put them anywhere I want each time it's my turn, which gives me a huge advantage over my opponent. So you get, at the end, when you're down to just 3 men, you're able to have flying men, which is a pretty cool thing. But again, as soon as they remove one more man, you lose. If you can't move anymore, you lose. But with flying men, it's almost impossible to not find a place to move. And as soon as your opponent is down to 3 men, they also can have flying men. So it gets kind of fun moving them all over anywhere you want. But that's the game of Nine Men's Morris. Enjoy.